Hi everybody, Pedro with LTS. This week's video is going to be a comparison between two guns. It's one of the questions I get most about lately. It is, should I buy a Beretta 694 or should I buy a Beretta 688? So let's go over both guns and see what we get with each one of those. Again, if you want to see a more in-depth video of each one of these, you can go to the other videos that I made. This is going to be a real comparison against 688 against 694 head to head. So let's see. First, very clear the look, right? You have your Beretta 688 having a black laminate stock, where on the Beretta 694 you have Turkish walnut at about a grade 2.5, I would say. Stocks, both stocks you can have with adjustable comb. The palm swell is pretty similar, pretty identical, one with the other, and you can notice that the checkering is actually the same checkering, same Beretta pad. Inside of the stocks, you can actually put your Beretta B-Fast weight systems, where on the barrels, that's going to be one of the differences. On the barrels of the 688, you have your standard no ventilated side ribs inside of the forend, where on the 694 side, you can put the Beretta magnetic weights into the barrel, as you can see right there. So that is one of the differences as we start. Is 694, you can add weights to the barrel. 688, you cannot, as it doesn't have any side ribs on the side, under the forend section, I would say. Moving on to the forends. Different latch style on the forend, of course. You have your button style on your 694, and then you have your latch, standard Beretta latch style on the 688. Internally, you have your Beretta single piece forend that goes for the forend iron. It goes on the side, and a single piece internally held by the two screws. Where on the 694, you have your two-piece style forend, bottom section and top section of the forend iron mechanism. Better or good? It's a forend latch. As long as the latches, we're good to go. Moving on to the biggest factor for me is the weight of the action. When the 688 first came out, I was actually pretty excited because they increased the weight on the action. As you know, I shoot a Beretta High-Tech. The Beretta High-Tech having a bigger, wider frame, increasing weight on the action. So they did the same thing on the Beretta 688. They increased the weight in the action. Why would you do that? Because increasing the weight in the action brings the balance and concentration of the weight towards the middle, or at the very least, felt concentration weight. So when you're actually holding your Beretta 688, you can feel that there's an increasing weight in the middle between both of your hands, causing the gun to feel a little more nimble and the muzzle a little bit lighter and faster. Where on the 694, you have a lighter receiver, not a light receiver, lighter than the 688, so you don't feel the weight in the middle. You feel the weight is a little more spread out. So these are two very different styles of guns. Some people do not like the increase in weight in the middle because they don't want a faster muzzle. Some people like the weight increase in the middle because they do like a faster muzzle. It will depend on the shooter and the right choice. You are the only one that can choose because you'll be your style. My personal gun, it is a heavy middle and heavy muzzle. So to me, if I had to pick between the two, I would like the action on the 688, but I need a heavier muzzle on my gun. So I'll probably find the heaviest chokes I could to put at the end so it doesn't become too whippy in my case. For most people don't like my gun anyway, the way it feels, but it works for me. So that's why you have to choose what works for you. Let's take a look at the actions. I have two actions here for you. I have a Beretta 688 and a Beretta 694 action, so you can see what they look like internally. They are pretty similar on how they are built internally and the parts that are used. So mechanical upgrade between one over the other, I don't think that will be your focus, as I don't think you're going to get a huge mechanical upgrade between one over the other. I do think you're going to get a huge difference in how they both feel and swing. So that's where I like that you have another option by Beretta that they have increased. Because for the most part, you only have one style of gun, which is spread weight, still balances right in front of the hinge pin, is just where the concentration is felt. So now you get another option, okay? The two deciding factors, I think, for most people, let's count it 3, will be weight of the action, which it came about 30 grams, maybe an ounce, let's call it. I weighted both of these guns that I have here. They're both 12 gauge, 30-inch, extended chokes, and adjustable comb. And neither one of them have the Be Fast in the stock, just the wooden stock. The 688 came in at 8 pounds, 5.4 ounces, where the 694 came in at 8 pounds, 3.4 ounces. So 1 ounce really difference between the two. You're gonna say, man, that's not enough, it's very little. Yes, it's very little when both guns are the same exact gun, but when the concentration of that 1 ounce is one specific spot, it feels totally different. And if you don't believe me, please try one against the other. You're gonna tell right away, you can tell the difference. So the weight of the action is gonna be one of the deciding factors. The actual 694 that you can put weights in the barrel, that might be a deciding factor for you. If you actually like a heavier barrel, maybe the 694 will be the one for you, because you can actually add more weights if you want to. And then, of course, the looks. I mean, looks is important. You know, most people say, well, I don't care, it's just a tool. But if the gun was bright orange, you probably wouldn't like it. Or if it was bright pink or bright purple, it's your taste, right? So it does matter at the end of the day. So you have your black laminate and you have your Turkish walnut. We know that this would be a factor, and a big one too, okay? So you have options like, for both guns, TSKs, and on the 688, because we knew this was gonna happen, that some people would love the way the gun feels but are not a fan of black laminate wood, they want a more traditional look. We do have the option to put a Turkish walnut stock on the 688 now. So if the feeling is right but the look is not good for you, you have the option to put Turkish walnut on your Beretta 688. And you have the option for your 694 to put weights in the barrel. So it's really good by Beretta to give you such different options. It might not feel like a lot, but when we actually handle them, it is a huge difference. Allows you as a shooter to pick the right gun for you and not have to follow suit with everybody else just because people shoot what they shoot. I hope this was kind of a clear-cut comparison between the two of the things that actually matter when choosing between one over the other. That's what I think actually matters between the two of them. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take care.